Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and you're back with Transport Fever, and what you're looking at here is really quite the hub to behold. It is now fully established and the trucks are trundling over the top, and as you can see already we've got cargo in place, and it's the freight has all started to be delivered, and and I'm pretty pleased with it, really. It's performing admirably. I need to fix out a couple of bits to make sure that goods are... No, you know what? Actually, I've changed my mind. No, I'm just not. No, I'm not feeling it. Well, because I'm not a complete psycho, I've decided not to force you to sit through me rebuilding it again, and that was entirely legitimate. I got the thing built, had a look at it, and just went, nah. So I've rebuilt it, and this is the result that we see out the other end, and this is already working far better than the previous one did. I've given both the opportunity to bed in for a few months to see exactly what sort of performance we were getting out of them. And to be honest, the original build was working just fine. Rather an excessive number of trucks, and I had to upscale the number of trucks running between those different shuttle stops in order to make those really work out. It's working much better now, and I'll show you why in just a moment. But here's a few minutes for you of exactly what I did to put this newfangled hub together. So there you go. As you can see, this is very, very capable indeed. I'm gonna turn everything off so you can just appreciate the glamour of the thing. This is, this is a nicely busy, productive hub setup that I've got going on here now, and you can't help but have noticed that that I have laid in an awful lot of extra track as well. Now, most of that is going to be for scenic purposes, so I'm going to acquire a few dummy wagon assets at some point in the next couple of episodes, and decorate this out to make it look like a like a proper goods yard. But in terms of the number of trains coming in, I'm pretty pleased already. Although you're dropping off, aren't you? That's the fuel train. Yeah, I mean, the reason for the change up largely was off the back of your suggestions. I've linked stations together by road to make sure that the catchment hits, but there was always the limitation of goods coming in on this station here couldn't reach the one on the other side, and you'll see that I've made these asymmetric now. In that this one now spurs off a little bit more. You see, I do read your comments, and then we've got a two platform here just for everything else. Now, at the moment, I don't have an excess in terms of the number of trains coming into these platforms, but part of the reason for all of this additional track is to give myself some queuing space so that further trains coming in can wait a little closer to their destination. And at the moment, there is a very high risk of some head-to-head incidences. So the best course of action, as I saw it, was to just let it play on, and we'll fix problems that come up as they come up. And this is, look at this for a bit of, isn't this worth the price of admission? There we go. Look, I mean, you don't get many of those to the pound. No, indeed. I also upgraded a couple of trains just so that they worked a little more efficiently. So the construction material train, I was starting to get a bit of a backlog there, so I've put a slightly larger load on that one, and the other significant one that I've upgraded, as well as all the fuel trains have been made longer, is that I've made the Sioux Falls delivery, which was also carrying lumber. I've increased the capacity on that one as well, and hopefully that will work out. I mean, the good news is that it's I've not once stopped making profit during this process, and hopefully long will that remain the case. But I look forward to getting some diesels, or at least, someone page the big boy. I know we've got 30 years to wait till it turns up, but it's needed right now. Because this, I think this is a Super Mikado I'm running on here. It's struggling a little with the weight of the cargo that I've got on there, and it is an awfully long train, this one. And look at the length of that beast. And that's pretty much exactly what we were after. Is plenty of good stuff in terms of lots of trains coming in. And shuffling around. Look, that'll be off to Brussels with a heady combination. You want bricks, fuel, tools, and bread? I got you covered. Now, we haven't quite hit 100% as far as all products yet, and equally we haven't hit 100% on delivering to everywhere. Well, I put some fences in and everything. I went like on a bit of a decorating moment. And I did that. That happened, and there'll be more to come besides. I put just a starting point of a bit of decoration in here, but we'll be doing much more of that. The last thing to mention is that I actually added a fourth station, just this little tiddler here, and that's for shunting purposes. So rather than use trucks to carry any remaindered goods from platform north here to the south terminal, instead I've used a shunter to do that, and that ties in with how the depots are set up. So my depot setup is here, and they will feed over in this direction and head out to the wide blue yonder. Oh, I didn't notice that before. Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't think there's anything I can do about that. And then in order to get things where they need to be, we've got a loop that comes out of the depot, or a half loop that comes out of the depot in order to get things pointing that way in the world, if we need to go that way. And then equally, we've got a second loop here that allows things to get into the main station. It's not the most elegant approach I could have come up with, but I think the end effect is actually pretty respectable. So there you go. So that's the hub, and I'm done fiddling with it for the moment. And as you can see, it's got a goodly amount of activity going on there already. So there you go. This has been an awful lot of fun to put together. I think there are greater efficiencies to be had. Obviously, I could, for instance, just extend this road ever so slightly and bring the logs in here directly. But actually, the benefit that I get from that is by shipping them out here. Firstly, all these log trucks. In fact, let's call up the route. Thank you. Yes, Indie, delivery and finances. As you can see, the route itself makes a bit of money. This is good. And then the fact that it's being delivered by train back to the hub afterwards means that that train is then also earning in both directions, which again helps it make a bit more cash to keep me with a smile on my face. And there you go. That's the kind of the numbers there for you to observe. Anyway, right, now that's going to cover off the freight activity, at least for a little while. I've still got to expand to every other town on the map, and I've got plenty of room to make that happen, so I'm not too bothered about that. And I still need to bring in the other things that we are yet to manufacture. So, chief among which we've got goods being potentially developed over there, which is nice. And what else am I missing? Goods turns into tools and machines. No, goods doesn't turn into anything. Goods is goods. Then you've got tools. I've got tools. Then you've got machines, and I'm going to make those using plastic and steel, and that will pretty much round out everything that I need to make. So it's a question of where am I going to make the steel? And I think I might have found it, because you've got coal there, you've got iron. Is that iron? Is that stone? That's stone. All right. Hold on. Changing plea. Here's some iron. Look, we got iron here. You've got coal there. Bosh them all back up this way. Hold on. Wait for it. You've got coal here. You've got iron there. There we go. That's the one. That's totally the one. This is where we're going to produce it. 1,000,000 miles away from the existing hub. You need planks. We're going to have to upgrade our plank production. We could produce some here, but it kind of removes the let's try and do this all from one hub, shall we? Now then, as far as plastic production is concerned, because I just clocked that. The question is, there's some more, but I'd be surprised if we had any more on a map this small. No, what do you know? There's one, and it's local. Oh, well, that settles that then. We could start producing plastic pretty quickly, and then get the plastic down over here. As much as that is already a very busy goods route, plastic and planks makes us goods. Oh, that's tempting. All right, I think I'm going to address that one quite quickly. But before then, let's have a quick look at the finances. So, as you can see, we've branched up from an income of 66 million. So that was the old hub, was on 66 million. And once that bedded in, we got it up to 87. Right, that's a pretty good ramp up there. Managed 86 last year, but that was in another redevelopment year, and I spent a reasonable amount of money on making that happen, with 25 million in new vehicles. So yeah, not cheap, but you take that into account, and it looks like we're around 30 million positive each year. That's enough money for me to make an awful lot of a mess. And I totally intend to do so. And why are you queuing? This is my agenda for the time being, is asking the question, why are you queuing on a regular basis to a number of different individuals? Now, it's because I've not done any proper signalling yet. I've not even done any improper signalling. Now, most of these trains are running single track on their way into the hub. So if I were to put a signal here, that will free that one up immediately. I fully expect to see queuing trains, and it's part and parcel of getting the signalling set up correctly. But I'm going to need to rethink through all of this lot, and the same the other side as well, in terms of making those two-way. Because right now, having trains going head-to-head in there is gonna end in tears. But so far, there haven't been too many crises. This will be the fuel train, and you'll head in that direction, which looks a little cumbersome when you first glance at it. But actually, on reflection, it actually works out reasonably well. The only real challenge is the viaduct here going over El Paso. That's going to get particularly busy, especially if I decide to use this goods manufactorum. Am I, though? Where else would you do it? So, I mean, we can make use of plastics out here to turn a tool. No, not to turn a tool, to turn a machine. But then we're going to need steel. In fact, that would be a good place to make machines. The question is, there's another goods manufacturing. I don't know. Is the short answer there. Now, what I won't do is I won't use the existing oil line. I'll make an entirely new one to feed the beast here, or I may even use a field. As you can see, we've got fields just there that are already being used, and we can quite easily just take cattle up to be processed into yummy, yummy bread, as much as cattle and bread are clearly constituent parts. I think using oil is far more... There's some oil, look. You know how I said I wasn't going to do any of this? I was going to turn my attention back to passengers. I think I might get on with that immediately. Although we're not yet fashioning any steel. No, that's a longer objective, that one. Right, okay, so to round out today, let's have a quick look at who's causing me the most pain, and it's the European balloon. That is the name for my current level of upset, and it's simply because it's not carrying enough passengers. It's got 280 capacity, and it's because it's covering the same route as everything else. The goods trains, apart from shunting, the goods trains that are currently not performing, I expect to start performing. And it will be once I have thoroughly rounded out the supply of goods, because it's still building back up again, as you can see. There'll be way more stuff waiting next time than there is this time. But, you know, when you look down the deep end here, the fuel train is making an absolute fortune, as are the Vancouver goods route. I know, it's surprising. And the food line and the Detroit bulk line. They're all getting it done for everybody. But what I wanted to do, just to round out today, is I want to... No, let's do it that way. Do it that way, that's it. Would be to fix up one of these aging lines. Sioux Falls to Brussels, for example. 2 trains on there at the moment, 44 years old. The Sioux Falls main line, also 44 years old. It's got 4 trains on it. Well, I don't think I can replace all 4 right now, so we'll go for Sioux Falls Brussels, and let's have a look at what we're... in fact, we're not even running the same train twice on there. You're just running any old nonsense. Right, so how about you head to the depot and get sold? You may well blow your whistle. And the same goes for you as well. And then we shall look at a newfangled setup for those chaps as they head back to base. Right, let's have a look. I've got 17.8 in the bank. I've got another 30 still available to me in loan. I've paid it all back. Let's go down the middle on this one and see what we see. In fact, I'm going to change the angle as well before I start shopping, so that we can see the trains as they come in, if they make it in before I've decided on my purchase. Locomotive steam, please. Electrification is not far away, so brace yourselves, because we will be electrifying relatively quickly. So we're still looking at variants fundamentally for passenger services. The Mikado and the Heavy Mikado are both in use on the goods lines that we've got running. I know I'm running some K4s already, but to be honest, I think they're the right beast for the job. Now, many of you have pointed out before, actually, that taking a loco that's capable of 90 miles per hour on my track that is currently only able to handle 75 is a little bit wasteful. However, I counter that by saying, yeah, but you give me a passenger coach that can handle 90 and maybe we'll think about it. Oh no, there's one that can handle 80. Maybe I should think about it. No, it's fine. Right, okay, we're gonna use the K4 again, because it won't be around for long. I mean, trying to avoid having all locos exactly the same is tricky, because you do end up having champions, having trains that you go, that's the one, that's performing exactly as I want it to. We've got this Pullman which will do 120. Goodness me. Carries 12 versus the heavyweight that does 20. No competition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Yes, 80. That's quite a short train. Right then, buy another one. 5. There you are. There you go. 100 capacity. Now you're talking proper passenger scale on there. Now that was not cheap, so we're going to need to loan up a little in order to get that happening. But the good news is, because this was a profitable line, it should pay itself off quite quickly, right? That's what I'm saying. There we go. And you are going to be handling, I can't remember, the Brussels line that has currently got nobody on it. Is it Sioux Falls, Brussels? I think it probably is. But I could be wrong. Just go trains only. And what we're looking for is a line with nothing on it. It's Sioux Falls, Brussels, look. Yeah, I told you. Right, let's set those onto Sioux Falls, Brussels. I wonder if this is going to cause a disaster, actually, because I haven't previously had inbound trains heading to the depot while shipping stuff out of the depot at the same time. Let's pay that back. There you go, only needed 3 million at the end of the day. Very nice. Regal, one might say, if one were so inclined. One might not be inclined that way, but there it is. Triple bogies as well. That's lovely. Good, and a good length looking train that is as well. Let's continue our observation. Actually, this is quite a nice observation spot, though I say so myself. Right, there we go. So we got inbound, we got outbound. I need to fix up the main line, but to be honest, I'm waiting for the right train to do so. Steam is going to be with us for a little while, but I'm going to replace something with diesel really soon, which means that I'll almost certainly replace something else with electricity very soon. We do have a goodly amount of steam running, and that's going to continue to be the case. But I have something pretty specific in mind that requires a small single form perfectly beautiful diesel in order to work. So stay tuned, and that's going to occur. Meanwhile, next time I think we're going to look at rounding out our goods supply to ensure that we're actually putting everything together. We might as well finish that off now, and then we can just work on expanding that further. It doesn't get old, does it? Watching your model train set in operation I certainly don't get bored of it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today. That rounds out the 3-part redevelopment of the hub special edition Fandango. I hope you found it as entertaining to watch as I certainly did to work on. Meanwhile, the series continues, and here's one of our returning services. Oh, I know what I meant to do today. Yeah, okay, we'll get to that next time. Yeah, all right. No, I'm not telling you. That's just a mental note for me. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on the fulfillment of said mental note, and I'll be back with you in the very near future with a little more of the same. Thanks for watching. I've been Colonel Failure. Cheerio.